Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Toxic Radio at Night. We're all in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm here to talk about all things toxic and taboo. No topic is off the table. Greetings from my hideout somewhere in the rural parts of Canada. I am Denise in Canada. It's October 25th, 2020. Last week I put out a new video called Project 2. And people want more information about my idea, and they want a template for a flyer. So I made up 2 flyers, and they will be on the website ffcs.info. So I hope that works for you. Feel free to use them or pass it around. But there's questions about it, so feel free to watch that video. I'm also, if all of a sudden I'm banned off of Twitter and YouTube, I am on a great new app. It's called NewTube. I've been in communication with the creator of that app, and they're very nice and helpful, and it's amazing to have direct communication with the creator. So I'm really promoting it. It's free speech platform. They're constantly adding new features. I like the aesthetics, the look of it as well was important to me. The ease of use, because I've had tons of problems with BitChute and I've had to reload my videos a few times. I'm not sure if they're purposely giving me problems. CloudHub did not work for me at all, so that was very frustrating. And Parler, you can't directly upload on Parler, but you can post your videos, and I get no interaction or comments really on Parler. So I'm constantly looking for new direction to go into a place, you know, where I can post videos. All right, so let's get into Project 2. I found that to me, it seemed like a very simple solution, because I've been trying to solve this problem of how, as citizens, we can make a change in our country and change the direction that our government is taking us. It's not something we voted for, and we feel like we are the silent majority and no one's listening to us. We feel alone, like we're one person. So how do our voices become stronger and more powerful? Okay, you're one person. We are going to reach out to 2 people. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just 2 people that you can meet and communicate with face to face, because if the internet goes down, if we're banned from all social media and we can't even get on internet, if the power is out, we never know what's going to happen next, right? If all of a sudden there are civil wars or uprisings. We saw how bad it got in the United States. You know, cities were being burnt down, businesses being burnt down. So there has to be a quick way for us to communicate and meet together. So find 2 like-minded people. It's not about convincing all aspects of the way we see the world going or our opinions, okay? It's just a way to pass information. So people will pass information to me. They'll send me videos and I'll post some of them. You've seen that, and I've said, this is not my file, it was sent to me. I have someone right now that has been giving me information from China because they have relatives in China. So they just pass it to me. They're not trying to, you know, convince me of that idea or what's going on. There's no way that I can verify it, but that's what I say. This is just information that was given to me, and we can try and sort out how true it is, or is it partly true. But at least we know, and knowing that helps us be more on guard of what the possibilities out there could be and what's going on, such as information like the mandatory quarantine sites, the isolation centers. How bad is that going to get? We don't know at this point. We see how problematic it can be when you look at Australia and the citizens were posting, let's have a protest, right? And they posted on Facebook, and all of a sudden the cops show up at their door. All right, so we can't have that, right? So if there's things we don't want to post out in public and on social media, how do we quickly get that information to each other and avoid having not so nice cops who aren't on our side, who want to shut us down, who it may be in the future who are going to haul us off to these isolation black sites and will never be found of again. No one might even know that we're missing. How do we pass around what's really happening in the nursing homes, right? So the people that are working there, they might want to get the information out, but they can't go publicly post it. They'll lose their jobs. But if we form this network, they can tell it to their trusted people and it will quickly spread. So important thing is find 2 people, okay? But you got to make sure those 2 people are finding 2 people each. And then those 2 people have to make sure that their 2 people are finding 2 people each, so that we start this chain network, kind of like the chain letters. But this isn't an evil or creepy thing. This is a good thing. And it has to be people that we can meet face to face with and quickly pass information around. So I hope that makes sense, because then if we want to have a meeting, if we want to have a protest, if we want to meet as a community, right? All you have to do is tell your 2 people. And then their 2 people tell their 2 people. That's it. You know, for now, it's easy to have those 2 people's phone numbers, their email addresses, follow them on all the social media while we can. But if there's things we don't want to post, that's how you can get that information out. So I'm hoping that's making sense. How far this goes is up to each of us, okay? So if one person bails out of our network, you got a broken chain. Okay, and that weakens the entire network. It's that person's responsibility. It's up to that person to find a new second person. If both of their people bail out, that is even a bigger problem. So find 2 more people. But at any given time, you're really only responsible for your 2 people. And if you're finding they're not having their 2 people, then you have maybe the wrong person as your network. We also are really going to need ham radio operators, because we can pass that info that way as well. Look into that. I think getting licensed is a lot easier, but the ham radio operators are going to be an important part of that. I'm just going to be digging into that side of it as well. If I am financially able, then I will get a license to be a ham radio operator, connect with people that way. Let's see. I wonder if there's going to be any other questions. Leave questions in the comments section, then I'll know what I'm missing here for everyone. It's keeping track of each other, and preferably not your family members, because that's something we naturally do anyways, right? You know, as grandpa, okay. That's not really what this is about. But if you know, okay, I'm connecting with Andrew down the street, but Andrew has a family, Andrew has kids, so it'd be kind of good if we know who the kids were, who the family is, and getting that information. Is everyone okay? Is Andrew okay? If I don't hear from Andrew, or the senior citizens, really keeping an eye in your community, because I think, you know, what I notice in neighborhoods, people drive into their garage and no one sees or hears from each other. People don't know each other's names and things like that. So if all of a sudden somebody disappears, would we even know that they've disappeared, that they're gone? Would we know if they're sick? Would we know if they're hungry, if they need food? It can go in a farther direction, where I know of communities that will make sure all the poor are fed, no matter what. So everybody is fishing for as much fish as they're allowed to have, right? Everybody is hunting for as much meat as they can get and fill their freezers so that they can share that. The canning, you're doing extra canning because if someone's hungry, you can share that food. So preparing that way, not just for yourself, but your community around you, and making sure that everybody is fed. Because if there's power outages, if there is no heat anymore and things like that. So it's a little bit preparing, not just for yourself, not just for your family, but looking out for each other builds a stronger community if there are some sort of even natural disasters. And what if the government isn't there to help? You've seen the videos where aid is sent to a government, to a mayor, to the people in charge, and that aid, the food aid, the medical aid, is hidden away in a warehouse. We saw what happened in Haiti. So how can we mitigate that? How can we prepare to be ready for situations like that, where we're not relying on government? Because we can't rely on government, and they may hold us hostage. You see now that any opportunity that they get, they're going to use and abuse their power. Oh, you can't go shopping and get food unless you wear a mask. You can't go to school unless you wear a mask. So that's a precursor to other situations. They might say, you can't get food unless you have the vaccine. Are you really going to want the vaccine? Or wouldn't it be better to have a strong network where we can rely on each other and make sure everybody is fed? We don't want to become Venezuela. They obviously weren't prepared for what happened to them as citizens. People disappear in Venezuela all the time. There are extermination squads in Venezuela. There are women that have to sell themselves so that they can get any sort of food. I think I've heard of babies being sold, children being sold, so that people can survive. That's not the way we want to go about it. We don't have to do it that way. We don't have to be at the mercy of others. We can have a strong network where we're helping and supporting each other. This has been Toxic Radio. I am Denise in Canada.